for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, Venomfire here back with another video, and today I'm bringing you guys another lockdown defense in Madden 21. This is one of my favorite defenses that I've been running recently. It's going to be out of the 3-3-5 wide, so it's going to be the most popular defensive formation in the game. It's also going to be out of the 4-6 defensive playbook, which is the most popular defensive playbook. Overall, it's one of my favorite ways to combine man coverage and some zone coverage and just confuse your opponents. First things first, let's hop into our coaching adjustments. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead, turn auto flip off. Now, usually in all my videos, I like to keep this on, but for this particular defense, I want to turn it off. You'll see why in a little bit. I'm also going to set my curl flats to about 20 to 25 yards. Depends on the player. I mean, usually when I'm starting out, I like to go just 20 yards. If he beats me a little bit deeper than that, I can move it up if need be. But I'm not trying to get beat underneath 25 yards. Now, we're going to be running the audible down defense, but let's talk about the actual play we're going to run. And the actual play we're going to run is going to be cover one robber. Now, it's important that we have auto flip off because I want to run it just like this. Now, when I come out in bunch, which I will right now, I'm going to run it with my bunch on the right side. So typically if you had auto flip on, pretty much what would happen to you is you would get your slot cornerback and it would just flip to this, which is not what we want. We want auto flip off and we'll come out like this. So obviously when I'm audibling down, I'm going to come out in a 3-3-5 just like this. And then when I audible down, it'll stay on the right side. So some simple stuff. Let's just set a couple of audibles for us here and we'll hop into that. Now, again, you're going to want safeties at linebacker. We'll just sub in just a couple of safeties here. Get some guys with some good speed, you know what I'm saying? And there we go. Now, again, we're going to come out and just stock cover 2 man. And the player running is that cover 1 robber out of 3-3-5 wide. So make sure you go ahead and set it up in your audibles. Anyways, here we are out on the field. Sorry about that. That was a mouthful. That was a lot of information, but it was useful. But you see, basically with my coverage, I came out on the correct side of the field. I had auto flip off. I had my corner on the left side, but against bunch, against certain formations, they actually do still come on the right side. So you see how my slot cornerback's still on the right. So it's a little bit weird, but basically your zones in the back end will still flip, and that's all you need to happen. This isn't just a practice mode thing. I went ahead, hopped into just a play now game, just to make sure that it worked, and indeed it does work that way. And of course I have ran this a little bit online. So first things first, let's audible down, just press X deep out of the left and X again, just like so. And now you see we have everything on our correct side. When you're running against bunch, basically you want that middle third to be not on the bunch side. You'll see why when we hop into our actual adjustments. Also, before we get into the video, make sure you guys do go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. So if you're new, you enjoy the content, you like what you see, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Also, I want to let you guys know that I did relaunch my membership program. So if you go ahead and you hit that join button right next to the subscribe button, you can actually join my membership for $5 a month and you get a bunch of extra videos. Just dropped fullback dive defense yesterday. So things like that can take you from a good player to a great player, just some extra additional content. But anyways, let's hop into our adjustments. First things first, you're going to spread your defensive line and you're going to press your defensive backs. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to put LB here in a curl flat. So we're going to put him in a curl flat. Additionally, one of the biggest reasons why I like having it just this way, our cover 1 in particular, is it's going to save us 2 adjustments. Those 2 adjustments are going to be our middle third right here, and also we want this outside linebacker right here. We want him automatically manned up on the tight end. If it were flipped, as you see on this side, he's not manned up on anybody. It's actually the running back, or it's actually this guy. So it saves me 2 adjustments, which is big in Madden, especially if you're going against someone who's going to quick snap the ball. So again, you're going to spread D-line, press. You're going to throw LB here in a curl flat. On the left side, we got 2 adjustments that we want to do. Those are going to be put X in a curl, or we're going to man up X on Y, and then we're going to go ahead and throw this XD lineman in a curl flat. Last but not least, we got one thing to do, and that's going to be to throw our X corner in an outside quarter zone. So here's a look. This is what I meant by when I said man coverage to zone coverage kind of hybrid, and that's exactly what you want to see right there. Overall, looks very clean, and you'll see when we hop into the play. Now, outside quarter, why do I go with that? It's just a little bit of a more aggressive zone. It's not going to, again, man up onto certain things. So X is kind of a guy you might want to watch if he's on a drag or a slant. But for example, we're going to run stock flood here. Let's just run the standard setup, something like this. I want you guys to take a look at Jimmy Smith on that left-hand side very closely, and you'll see how he's actually going to follow him. But he doesn't completely follow him. It honestly does kind of depend on a couple of factors. It depends. I think if I were to run this stock with no zone drops, no adjustments, I actually got him to follow it. But you see how he's just playing very aggressive. He's not running deep down the field. He's going to kind of follow him in man coverage, go inside. And he does a good job of just kind of containing that zone. Now, again, that's where I'm going to user. You still have your user, but everything else relatively defended well. You see how our curl flat at 20 yards is going to take away corner routes of that nature. So overall, it's a great coverage. Hopping into it again, you're just going to audible down. You're going to go ahead, press, spread D-line. You're going to man up X on Y, put X in a curl flat, throw L1 in a curl flat, and then just put X in an outside quarter. So around a total of 4 to 5 adjustments if you count that press, spreading D-line, which I don't really consider big adjustments regardless. So I don't honestly count those, but make sure you also put your user on a blitz as we do right here. You notice that it's a 2-man rush. Now, 2-man rush can give some people problems. Certain people don't like going with 2-man rushes. I'm fine with it. What I do in Ultimate Team is I've been starting to just put a bunch of abilities on these guys. Just double or nothings, El Toro, thing like that. Just unique abilities, and they get relatively good pressure, which will help you a lot. Again, let's hop into a new play. Let's go with Z-Spot. Now, Z-Spot could be the one potential play that does hurt you. I've kind of noticed that Z-Spot is a good play to get over the top of 20-yard curl flat. So if he's going with a lot of Z-Spot, it's going to be a simple fix. Just throw it at 25. And again, with my man coverage, you notice how I'm not necessarily shading over the top. The reason for that is the only guy who can maybe beat us is going to be B. But even from the slot, Tavon Young here in an inside third is going to do a really good job of defending that. It's going to be a difficult pass to make. And you see the coverage here. Again, my responsibility is usually going to be X. But that's not the only reason I go with the outside quarter. It's just big for just help down deep that side. So whether it's a crossing route, whether they motion over a streak or something, it just gives you a little bit of security. And overall, I think it's a little bit better. If I wanted to, I could leave him manned up, and that's certainly an option, which maybe I'll show a little bit later. But honestly, I feel a little bit more comfortable with that outside quarter zone, and it's something a little bit unique to add to the video as well. So we're going to audible down. Again, press, spread D-line. I already clicked onto this guy, so he's not going to go into his position, but just going to throw your 2 curl flats on the field like so. Man up X on Y. Again, you're going to be using this middle of the field guy. But really, I do like this outside quarter zone. It plays pretty aggressive against certain different things. Let's go with just like a stock double post setup. We'll just drag our B. You'll see our coverage should be good now. I think I might have actually forgot to man up Calais Campbell there, but you see how the coverage is pretty good. I want to kind of hop into the replay. Maybe the C route was open a little bit just because it does get in between a decent spot. And you see how it kind of was open, but if he throws it, that's a pretty easy click on pick. Outside quarter does a good job of kind of containing, but also defending the deep post relatively well. The outside quarter is pretty aggressive zone, so it might not defend things super deep, but it's still going to be difficult to complete this. If he throws it here, it's an easy click on pick between, look at the inside third also, staying on that left-hand side. Again, aggressive zones. Everything else taken away relatively well. And again, I forgot to man up this player on here. Also, I would recommend some athletic D linemen, especially if you're going to consistently man him up on the running back, because a guy like Calais Campbell, he's probably getting burned every time. Or actually, no, I kind of messed that up. Basically, I did mess that up. Sorry about that, but again, what you want to do is man up X on Y. You want to put Calais in the curl flat. So I was kind of confusing that. Hopefully I didn't mess that up completely throughout the video, which is what I'm hoping for. But yeah, this is the correct way to run it. You want to man up the outside linebacker, and the reason for that, he's more athletic. And if I was to man up the D lineman, I could easily just throw a table route against it every single play. But this is the right way to run it. You're not really too worried about things, the crossing routes deep on the right side, even if they potentially get something just a little bit open. It's not too big of a concern. And again, let's hop into something like PA Dig Fork, just to kind of show what it might look like. And this could be an adjustment. Potentially, what they'd probably do is they would probably motion Robbie Anderson out a little bit and then go ahead and snap him from here. So they'll motion him out like this, snap it. You see how the coverage relatively well again. Look at the outside quarter. It's defending it kinda, and that's just a good pass. Now, if you notice something like that happening, which is going to be key, because if he beats you with that once, it could be a touchdown. Be careful with that. If I notice that happening, I'm just going to outside third him completely. I could do that, A, or I could go ahead and deep half Y. The alternative to that would also be to just potentially deep half X. So I could also do this. I'm not the biggest fan of that. If it were me, I would probably just outside third X because it's still a relatively aggressive zone. But it gives you a little bit of security because you see Robbie Anderson obviously has the matchup. He has the speed advantage. We know that. And again, these guys don't have really any abilities to offer, but that could be an issue. You see I actually was able to bond. That's something I wanted to show, but if it's too big of an issue, take it away. And you see how the outside third still does play things pretty well. It's just not going to get just torch over the top. So it's a little bit less more conservative, and it's a little bit better. But overall, that's going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and peace. I'm out of here.